Hello, friends. I am back Friday late afternoon, going for a drive around Aurora today. The track I found, or the path today, is going to be next to the Fox River, which flows through Aurora. So that's where we're going to go. Beautiful day number 3 in continuation. The temperature is amazing. The weekend is going to be even better than this. It's actually going to be on the hotter side. So really looking forward to it. By the way, those of you who do not know, I am going to be participating in the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride in Naperville this Sunday. Very excited, looking forward to it. The visuals, the photos, everything what I've seen, they look phenomenal of this event. So I'm absolutely looking forward to it. So that ride is Sunday morning. Starts at around 10 o'clock. Everybody starts getting together between 9 and 10. So from 10 o'clock to 10:45 is the riding time. Should be nice. I don't think they're riding very long distance. It's a very short distance, in fact. The place where they're getting together, from there to the downtown Naperville, it's actually a 15-minute ride, less than that. But with so many riders, I'm sure this is going to be an event. So let's see how it turns out. It's a very bright day. Let's go. And it's very windy also. White Eagle Club, it's a beautiful place to live. Lakes all over. In summers, this whole area looks as if you don't even know this place. Winters, the whole look is totally different. Summers, it's just a completely different neighborhood. Every season, that's how you feel. Spring comes along and you're like, dude, I didn't even see these roads the same way. So in this ride, as you go along, I'm going to talk about some of the things which I see. But let's talk about one of the things which I've heard from a lot of people. Even when I got the motorcycle, told some of the friends around, there were a couple of families whose reaction was that they're very scared of riding a motorcycle. They are not, obviously they don't ride themselves. They don't encourage their kids to ride a motorcycle also, and the whole view around riding a motorcycle is fear led. So that was a heartbreaking conversation. I mean, my minimum conversation with those type of families is, I respect if you're scared of riding a motorcycle and you don't want to, but don't put these, or don't sow these seeds in the kids in your family. Let them get their own experience. Let them establish their own realities and truths and worldview, but at least don't pass on the same fears to them. And often in those conversations, when you try to find out what is the reason that they have such a perception, you find out that it is generally because of some bad past experience. And most of the people I've talked to, they've had at least one such scenario. Either in the US, one of the families I met with, It looks like 2 generations back they had something bad happen in the family, and they are still carrying that thought process to date. So this is a question which I've heard few times now, or a point of view, and I want to address it. I've done about 610 miles here in the US. I've been riding motorcycle for the entire life. As some of you know, riding motorcycle is not a luxury thing in India. It is part of your lifestyle. It is part of your life. In fact, 99% people ride motorcycles because it's cheap, faster, the best way to get through the traffic in India. So motorcycle is way of life, not a luxury which people see here in the West, where you take out the motorcycle once a weekend and that's it. So couple of things. Again, I'm not going to poop on somebody who thinks that this is dangerous, scary, etc., etc. To each their own. I respect. My only ask is don't pass on those notions to kids. Let them define their own reality. Let them learn from their own experience. From my perspective, motorcycling is such a wonderful experience to have. So there is no reason kids of the future or kids of today should be stopped from having that experience. Now, here are few things which I really personally think are important, or which add to the criteria or the feeling that it's very risky business. First thing, do you know what you're doing? If you have never ridden a motorcycle and you're coming in because of certain impressions and you're going to jump directly into the deep end, then you're obviously inviting trouble. I mean, if I compare it to learning swimming as well. Swimming can be very dangerous. It could be life threatening if you just go in a swimming pool, jump on the 6 feet side. You don't have anybody watching over you, nobody teaching you how to swim. Most likely, if you jump on the 6 foot side, the deep end of the pool, you're going to drown. So first of all, you should know what you're doing, right? There is a sensible way of approaching anything, and I'm all for that, irrespective of where you are, even in India or here in the US. This compounds in US because obviously on the streets, if you see, most of the riders or most of the traffic on the road is of cars. So obviously, in comparison to cars, motorcycles are considered, or they are factually also, they're less safer in comparison. So obviously one should know what they're doing. Okay, I got a little distracted for a second. It's such an ironic thing. I'm talking about motorcycle riding and safety and all of that, and I'm getting distracted. So irrespective. So first thing is, know what you're doing. If this is the first time somebody's riding, there is a way to take it a little easy and slow. Have somebody who's teaching you. Take a class. There are MSF courses, which I have attended one because it's a mandate for you to get your driver's license. Those classes, while they are hard to get into here, especially in Illinois, the fact remains those are the best classes for someone who's just coming in. They really take the time. They don't cut any corners, and they teach you through like very, very basic stuff. So I had several people in my class who had never ridden a motorcycle and who were there for the first time, and those guys did a phenomenal job. And moreover, if you don't do well or you cannot gain enough confidence of riding, they don't pass you, and they encourage you to come back, either go and apply for a private class or come back in the classroom again in the next session. So take it slow. The second aspect is choosing your ride also carefully. I have seen, especially this is the same experience I had during my BNSF course. I'm forgetting the name. MSF, Motorcycle Safety and Foundation. I think that was the name, if I'm not wrong. And the good part is those guys had a lot of students who had never ridden a motorcycle. But if you listen to the crowd there, a bunch of them come with the aspiration that they're going to take this course, and after this they're going to go and buy like a 1000cc motorcycle. Now that blows my mind. This to each their own. If they feel comfortable doing that, good for them. I really think this is a short way of hurting yourself. Choosing a motorcycle which is beyond your handling is a short way of putting yourself in trouble. So one of the key factors of avoiding trouble is choosing a vehicle or riding a motorcycle which is totally in your control, where you understand the ins and outs, what the vehicle is capable of, how do you handle it. Sometimes you choose a motorcycle, the weight itself is so heavy that if it were to trip over or fall, you won't be able to recover. You don't want to do that. There is, if you think from a perspective of playing a long game, makes no sense to do such silly stuff at the very beginning. In fact, start with a lighter motorcycle, learn on it, spend maybe an year or two on it, get very comfortable on riding on the roads at faster pace, slower pace, through traffic, etc. By the way, this is a nice, cool wind chimes type of a store. Deepti would love it. You should come here. So yeah, get used to that, but don't choose something which is so out of your league that it puts you in trouble. I think it's a big factor. People underplay this. People, once they get their license, they think that the only fun they can have is on a 1000cc motorcycle. You don't have to do that. In fact, the bigger the motorcycle, the bigger problem you can land in. So that's a huge thing. So first thing, know what you're doing, learn, get the right type of training. Second, choose the right type of vehicle. And third, I think from my perspective is always that spend time behind the motorcycles. Spend time riding the motorcycle. You can watch any number of videos, you can read the manual on different rules and things like that, but nothing will come close to the real experience you can get on a motorcycle. And for that, rather than talking, you need to get out and really ride. So those are the three things. I really feel like the more experience you gain on a decent basic bike also, it would take you places. It will put you in the top riders anywhere. And from there on, you can, after putting in experiences and time behind the motorcycle, you can do anything after that. You can buy a bigger motorcycle, etc., etc. So I think the risk comes from not knowing, not having the skill, not having the experience, and trying to ride a motorcycle which is beyond your capabilities. I think that's a big differentiator. Ultimately, what happens on the street, on the road, is not fully dependent on us. This is not 100% in control of us. So the way we are riding right now, anything can happen for that matter. But your skill and experience at least make sure that the mistakes you could make, the margin of error on your end, you can reduce that, or you can basically create that insurance for yourself that at least because of you a mistake is not going to happen, an accident is not going to happen. Now, if I brake correctly, if everything is right, and there is somebody coming from the behind and they are distracted looking at their phone and things like that, they come in and hit me completely out of my hands. But so that's my message. I really don't think, this whole notion that riding a motorcycle is dangerous and people are completely no about it, I really don't think that is the right notion to have. Motorcycling is pretty safe, but it also depends on your level of skills and what type of experience you have riding a motorcycle. So we have entered Aurora. In Aurora, the roads get tighter as we go towards the downtown area. I think I've missed the point where I was wanting to go. May have to stop at one of the places where you see a motorcycle rider and figure out where is that Fox Valley River pathway so we can make an adjustment. I'm going to pull over